ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणसिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी कृष्णभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण पदानि Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So, we've been, for the couple of days, we've been doing this Vaishnava etiquette, a very important aspect of developing Krishna consciousness. So we just did the Mangala Charan prayer. That is also part of the etiquette. Mangala Charan prayer is expressing gratitude, thank you, and acknowledging and worshipping the Guru Parampara and going all the way up to Shri Krishna himself. So that's the etiquette, when we have the opportunity to share Krishna consciousness, to give class. You start with the prayers to the Guru Parampara, Krishna and his associates. So today's topic, Prabhu's Mataji's, is honoring Mahaprasad Nirmale, also known as Nirmalya, and regular prasadam and kitchen decorum. So this is what we're going to do. It's going to be an interactive program. I will need your help. So, please don't feel shy. You have a question or a comment, please unmute and voice that. Hare Krishna. So first thing, we need to understand what is Vaishnava etiquette. So would someone please read what's on the left side of your screen? What is Vaishnava etiquette?
I could.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Vaishnava etiquette is a combination of two words, Vaishnava and etiquette. Vaishnava means the pure devotee of the Lord, and etiquette means the activity and behavior of a Vaishnava.
Correct. Thank you, Prabhu. So, two words, right? Vaishnava is pure devotee, and etiquette is the activity and behavior. Now, the question may come, oh, we are not pure devotees. Yeah, we are still trying to get there. Then why is Vaishnava etiquette necessary for me? We'll see why it is necessary. So, first, what we need to understand is, before we get into details of the kitchen and prasadam and mahaprasadam etiquette, this is to recap. You will be already familiar with this, but it's good so that all of us come on the same page. Who is a Vaishnava? Vaishnava, Prabhupada said, the perfected state of a human being is a Vaishnava. So, we have these different species, 84 lakh species, 8.4 million species, not just the physical attribute, but also the consciousness. In fact, in human beings, there are, I think, about 400,000 categories, gradations of human being. So when the human being is in a perfect state of everything, that is called a Vaishnava. Hare Krishna. Vaishnava also means someone who has a sambandha with Lord Vishnu. Sambandha means a relation, a connection with Lord Vishnu. Vaishnava comes from the word Vishnu, who's no other than Krishna himself. Now, here it says pure devotee, and we understood that we are not pure devotees. And here it is saying anyone who has sambandha with Lord Vishnu. So, Nandulal Prabhu, very many years ago, almost 30 years ago, we used to go to Tobacco Temple. So Nandalal Prabhu, all glories to him. He used to always give, little pieces of information on Krishna consciousness from, either Guru or from the Shastra. And he says that who is a Vaishnava? Even if someone just once takes the name of Vishnu, you should consider him to be a Vaishnava. So relationship, of course, everybody, every jiva, everything has relationship with Krishna. There's nothing which is outside of him. Everything is connected. So what do we mean by this connection is someone who's cognizant of that connection. You get it? Right now we have a connection, but either we don't care or we have forgotten about it. But once we are trying to revive it, you have that sambandha. Hare Krishna. Can somebody please read this CC Antya? And if we can go, we'll have to make good use of time. That way it won't go on and on. If someone would please read it.
Yeah, Prabhuji. I'm
Go ahead.
The perfected stage of a human being is called a
No, no,
Vaishnava.
no. The third bullet point, Mataji, my
Oh,
dear.
sorry, Prabhuji. Yeah. Chaitanya Charitamrit, Antya 4, 129 to 130, Mahaprabhu said, My dear Sanatana, although you are the deliverer of the entire universe, and although even the demigods and the great saints are purified by touching you, it is the characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee.
Very, very important. It's the ornament. Now, if you look at it as why do we wear ornaments? We wear ornaments so that we look attractive. Matajis, and of course, nowadays, even Prabhujis, they apply makeup, so many things, Shringar and all that. Why? It is so that you attract the attention of another person. So here, maintenance of Vaishnav etiquette is that ornament of the devotee. I think Devkinandan Prabhu in 2 or 3 classes before had mentioned about, not looking too flashy and not dressing up too uh, uh, boldy and things like that. Keep it simple. So what does it mean, this ornament of a devotee? On one hand, it is, you need to be simple. So this ornament, if you look at ornament which attracts, whose attention it attracts the attention of Guru and Krishna. Maintenance of Vaishnav etiquette is that ornament. So just as if somebody wears, Mataji wears a big diamond shining necklace, so everyone's attention will go over there. Similarly, when a Vaishnav who's following this proper etiquette, right, it gets the attention of Shri Krishna, Hare Krishna. Now, there is something called culture. His Grace Gauranga Prabhu had mentioned this in his lecture. So, if I remember right, this is what is the essence of that. What is culture? Culture is the system of processes to achieve a particular goal. You could have good culture, you could have bad culture. So that is what a culture is. Like I remember, my father is a Saraswat Brahmin, the community. My mother is a Punjabi refugee from Pakistan during partition time. Now, in North India, the culture is that you have to touch people's feet, the elder people. When you meet them, whoever your uncle, your aunt, your older brother, whoever, even your neighbor or whoever it is, when you meet them, you touch their feet. And there is a saying, "Peri pona," like I'm at your feet. That's what it is. That's the culture. And, as kids, I remember asking my mom, and she insisted that my brother and I do that. And it just became a habit automatically. So why do you have to touch the feet? She says that because it makes you humble, humility. With elders, they deserve respect. They deserve respect because they know so much. They have lived more life than you. They have the wisdom what to do, what not to do, what to say, when to say, how to say it. There's a wealth of information with them. And when we submit ourselves to somebody, correct, they're pleased with us and happily they can teach us, they can share us, they can look over us. So that is a culture that, the system of touching the feet is a culture. Now, when this culture is practiced over generations, it is called tradition. Now, the same thing, I inculcated in my son. When you meet an elder, you have to touch the feet. In our Vaishnava tradition, also, there's the culture. When you meet a Vaishnava, you offer your obeisances, correct? So, when culture is to achieve a particular goal, now in the Vaishnava Krishna consciousness, what is that goal? That goal is to go back to Godhead, is to revive this dormant Krishna, the love of God, which is there in us. So, these little things is what brings it up, right? Over a period of time, it's called generation. Another way to look at etiquette. Etiquette is a lubricant that keeps the gears of relationship and society functioning smoothly. All of us are imperfect. There's no one who is perfect. We are trying to get onto the stage of perfected. Perfected state of human being is called Vaishnava. But till such time, we all have our false egos, we all have our anarthas in different degrees and different intensity, whatever it be that case. Now, if your goal and my goal aligns, then there is symmetry and there is harmony. But the moment anything goes outside that, then all the friction comes in over here. So etiquette, not just in Vaishnav etiquette context, just simple even social etiquette, professional etiquette, whatever it is, social function etiquette. What happens is when there is these good manners, so to say, that helps reduce whatever is the friction. We tend to become more tolerant and tolerable to each other. So this is what etiquette is. Hare Krishna. Now, consistent, nice thing I read up when I was preparing for this class. Consistence to Vaishnav etiquette reflects your commitment to spiritual practices very, very deep. What this means is that if we are careful about our behavior, how we behave with others, how we do things, correct? Here it means, right? Etiquette means the activity and behavior of a Vaishnava. Prabhu read it 2 minutes back. So that will reflect how committed we are. Otherwise, it is, okay, okay, I'm a part-time lover of Krishna, part-time. Meaning to say, I come here on Sunday, I'll do some, which is good, no doubt, but better than not doing anything. But how committed we are to the spiritual practices. Okay. And when we do Vaishnav etiquette, what happens is proper conduct and alignment. Our day-to-day life, it no longer becomes a burden that, oh, I have to do 16 rounds. Oh, I have to do four regulator principles. Oh, this, oh, that, and all that. Because we have lifetimes of conditioning. Lifetime of conditionings for being non-Krishna conscious. Now there is this lifetime, the opportunity we're trying to become Krishna consciousness. So of course we carry the burdens of the past, the sins of our past. So it seems to be a burden, but what happens is when we observe this etiquette, right? Then whatever are these philosophy, the principle, essence, what we're trying to put it into practice in our day-to-day life, it becomes proper, it becomes easier. Hare Krishna. Purpose of Vaishnava etiquette, again going back to that point, what we said, the ornament thing, that is the ornament of a devotee. Mahaprabhu's statement to Sanatan Goswami. Etiquette pleases everybody. Everyone is pleased with a mild-mannered, a gentle-mannered, a well-behaved person. But most importantly, it pleases Guru and Gauranga. It pleases. And this bhakti, culture of bhakti and tradition, Vaishnava, it is the culture of, etiquette is the culture of bhakti and the tradition of our parampara. Hare Krishna. Any questions before we move on to the next slide? Okay. So now we come to this point, convenience or etiquette. What matters more? Because etiquette requires you to be a little thoughtful, requires you to be more careful, not that anything and everything goes. Okay. So what is it? Convenience or etiquette? They say a picture speaks 1,000 words. So, but the only thing which they don't say is it speaks 1,000 words, but it may mean different things to different people. So let's see a few pictures over here. Now, this is picture number one, which you see on your right and left. This is the entrance to our temple hall. And now here is below, right and left, is the same location and a second picture. So you see what here it says is on Thursday, one Thursday during Pitru Paksh, I had to go to the temple and make some offering over there. And there were a few visitors, newcomers. They had come to the temple. And if you see, we have the shoe box, which is outside. There were hardly about five, six, maybe less than 10 people. Very neatly, the shoes are put in the where it's supposed to go. And outside, you see how clean it is. And now here, the second picture on Sunday, when the entire congregation and devotee comes. The shoebox is just a few devotees have cared to keep where it is. They say everything in its place and a place for everything. But however, it's the convenience of coming in over here, removing the chappal and your footwear and going out. Now it's a big mess. Of course, I had to take here, but if you zoom out, everything was just blocking the entrance also. And so much so, there have been instances where little children and even elderly people have tripped and fallen over this. And so many of us are guilty about this thing. Now, what is the proper etiquette? A thing, everything in its place and a place in everything. Now, you see, for convenience or maybe the enthusiasm or the urgency to go into the temple, it's easier to remove it over here than take 10 seconds to remove your footwear, bend down, pick it up, and put it in these little boxes which are there over here. But oh, I wouldn't want to do that 10 minutes, who'll bend down, who'll go through that ball. Now, what happens is it becomes an inconvenience for everyone. It becomes, and the first thing, imagine, first thing a person sees is all these footwears greeting him. What Krishna and the deities, Shamsundar deities, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadramaya, Gaurnitai ji, what they're seeing is footwear all over. Just think about it. It looks so ugly. So convenience or etiquette, what matters more? So here this picture says that, what proper etiquette accomplishes. Hare Krishna. So now we come to this thing which is called honoring Maha prasadam. The Sanskrit word for it is called Nirmalya. Nirmalya. Actually, it's M-A-A. Nirmalya. That's the Sanskrit. So what is Nirmalya? Whatever articles are offered to Bhagwan, right? And here there are a few examples, garland, flowers, charanamrit, so on and so forth. Usually when we talk about prasadam, immediately we think about is the eatable bhoga, which has been offered to Bhagwan. He accepts it, it infuses with his mercy, and we eat it. That's what usually when we say prasadam, but actually prasadam is all these articles which is offered, correct, to the Lord. Hare Krishna. Now, what happens is after the culture or the process, after it is offered, it is then offered to, uh, after the article is offered to the deities, it is then offered to Srila Prabhu. HDG is the acronym for Srila Prabhupada's whole name. It stands for His Divine Grace. So HDG, His Divine Grace, and then it is passed around to the assembled devotees. Mahaprasad means, Maha means great. Prasad, literal translation is mercy. And what happens? It is the opportunity for devotees to personally receive it. Now, you could be just doing like a dhyana yoga. You could just be doing meditation. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Just that. You could be doing that. That is also a form of worship. Why all this elaborate? Why is it being done? Actually, there's a deep science and philosophy behind it. Many of us who are born in the Hindu family, have because our generations are doing it. That's the tradition. We also do it without understanding the significance and the meaning. The other day, Simeshwar Prabhu was mentioning, right? This tilak, Years together, we've been applying this tilak. Yeah, we know it is Vishnu's toe and this is Tulsi leaf, but there's Brahma, there's Shiva, middle is Radha and Krishna. So many details are there, and there's a significance. You ring the bell when offering articles. There's a bell which is rung. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami long back had told why. He was asked, why you ring a bell? What's the necessity? He says, you ring the bell because Krishna is the most important person. And an example is, so for example, when the king goes out, they blow the trumpet, everything, like people be aware, there's a VIP coming. Similarly, even here, when the president goes, he has the convoy, the police cars go, woo, 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 correct? And everything is cleared out over there. Not an ordinary person, and really extraordinary, VIP, important person. So now, where earlier used to have, the trumpet, the bugles, the mridang and everything, the bell is considered to be sarva vadana vadyanya, meaning to say all the musical instruments, all the sounds is encapsulated in that bell. Ting, 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 ting. So when we are offering something, it is not just simply offering, here, take it. You do it with a lot of pomp and reverence. It's someone who's so important. There is that importance. So you see, every little activity has meaning, has depth, has philosophy, and a science behind it. However, we don't know it. So we say, these are just rituals, these are just sentiments, and that's how it is. We don't know what it is. That out of our ignorance, that's what we say, and that's how we behave towards it. And when we do this Vaishnava etiquette, dear Prabhus and Matajis, it starts aligning. Remember the earlier slide, it aligns the practices. Hare Krishna, we understand the importance, we understand the significance behind it. It becomes personal for us. It is an opportunity for devotees to personally receive that Mahaprasad. Hare Krishna. Each article should be handled with respect, correct? And you chant Jai Mahaprasad. Usually, when we get the Mahaprasad in the Aarti, the Hindu tradition is you wave your hand and then you know, put it over your head, correct? Mechanical, years together, but why? But when you do it, actually, you chant with a lot of respect and feelings, Jai Mahaprasad. Jai means all glories to. So, what happens is when we do this, you get it, our consciousness also starts aligning. You just don't do it mechanically. Now, all our Sunday school kids, someone made a remark, the Sunday school kids should be taught this is one of the things how to receive Mahaprasad. Of course, kids forget and teachers have to remind them again and again, hey, say Jai Mahaprasad, say Jai Mahaprasad. So this is what is how. Now, we know the background. Now, when getting honoring, when we say honoring Mahaprasad, what are the steps? There are three steps. One is you have to do it very carefully. Don't just, I'm, quickly, hurriedly. Okay, it has come to me now. I have something else to do. So very quickly, I'll do it and I've gone. No, do it very carefully. We've discussed this. Do it reverentially and do it in a meditative state. What does meditation mean? Meditation means you're focusing your mind on something. Do it meditatively. What results in? It results in you don't take it mechanically. Yeah, we understand what is that glory of that. We have that realization, not just that, oh, it is, his mercy. Krishna is absolute. There's no difference between. You actually get that. You've done it. You've done it personally. You start, it becomes very significant for you. And it's not just that, oh, the Aarti plate has come, I have to take it, and I'll put some little donation in that. And what ultimately does is every etiquette that we're following is taking a step closer to Krishna. Hare Krishna. Specifically, now we are talking about this Nirmalya, yeah, Mahaprasadam, how to do it. There are certain things we need to keep in mind, dear devotees. Can somebody please read the first bullet? Haribo, everyone there?
Can I read it?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Exercise care and caution. I can't read. It's like, oh, wait, sorry. Charnamrita in your right hand with left hand cupped under it to avoid spillage.
Correct. So you have to be very careful, as we had said earlier, right? One of the circles was carefully. So when, let's say, example, when Charanamrita is being offered to you, so, just don't put one hand. It is something extremely important. Handle with care. Cup your other hand under that so that it doesn't fall to the ground. Being careless and Charanamrit is, it has actually touched the body. Charan is the body of Bhagwan. And here we are being careless with it, it just falls on the floor. So the Shastras say there is severe consequences. Now, just sipping the Charanamrita, millions of sins get wiped away. Just at millions, just that little one drop also you take it. But if it falls on the floor, you get the effect of millions of sins. So we need to be careful, treat it. And we don't do it out of fear that, oh, I'll get million of sins. But have some fear. Do it out of, decency. So when we're honoring Mahaprasadam, exercise care and caution. Now, sometimes it may happen. We are human beings, we are fallible creatures. It is a nature. One of the defects of a human being is, to commit mistakes. So, if accidentally it falls on the floor like a flower, okay, which is offered to Bhagwan, it falls on the floor, immediately pick it up and touch it to your head. What is the significance of touching to your head? Head is the highest part of the body. Feet is the lowest. So feet being on the floor can get dirty, but head is the highest, correct? Oh, don't lose your head. Means don't get angry. Or don't lose your head. Don't get beheaded over there. So this is the highest, most important part. Like, yeah. So you take it and that's where you place it. Like, this is where its actual place is. Hare Krishna. When the Aarti or any other is going around the Nirmalya, don't push and shove. People will, even Devkinandan made a point, Prabhu had said, right, that don't go right in front to take darshan. Don't obstruct someone. Be patient, your turn will come. So sometimes people push and shove that, oh, I have to get the Aarti, I have to get the blessings, I have to get that mercy over there. So what happens is there's a certain protocol. It goes to Srila Prabhupada, then to the Guru or a sannyasi if he's present, senior Vaishnavas, and then to the assembly. So that is how it should be received. And there may be instances when there's a huge crowd, it may not come to you personally, and it may just pass by you. But never mind, even if you're missed out, it doesn't matter. Okay, Krishna is seeing you over there, and he's more pleased that you haven't gone around pushing and elbowing people out of the way to get the Mahaprasad. Don't place Mahaprasad below the waist. If you get a Mahaprasad, don't put it in your pocket because things below the waist is considered unclean, like the genitals and the evacuating organs, etc. over there. So don't keep it below the waist, especially Harinam Chadar. So Harinam Chadar has, it could have the images of the deity. It could have the Harinam itself. The Nam Prabhu is there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Drape it around you, but let it not go below the waist. If you are offering obeisances, Prabhu especially, you could take the chadar and keep it to a nice place besides, and then you could offer your full Dandvat Pranam. Same reason, like that flower, if it falls on the floor is not the place for such a valuable for that article, right? Topmost on the head. So when we are offering it, don't keep it anything below the waist. Harinam Chadar. Uh, don't eat in the temple hall. Now, Mahaprasad also is, what the bhoga is offered. So if some item is offered to you, uh, always before coming to ISKCON, all other temples and all this to give you just little something, maybe a little banana piece or a fruit or, very small, little. In fact, prasad was like how pickle is served on the table, little on your plate, little quantity. ISKCON came and so, oh wow, there's a huge feast which is called prasad. But if you get a little thing, do not eat in presence of the deity. For example, if you go the CEO of your company, you have an opportunity to get a meeting with him. Will you go holding a burger in your hand, eating it? Why not? He also is a human being. He also gets hungry. He also needs to feed his belly. You're also a human being. You also need to feed your belly. But will you take that burger and go eating in front of him? Will you be drinking your slushy or whatever it is? No. So there is a certain decorum which we have. So similarly, in the temple hall, refrain from eating. And if at all, go to the side where, the deities, not in front of the deities, go to the side. And best is go out of the temple hall. Go out of the temple hall. So if you've received a small peda, you can hold it in your hand. Don't put it in your pocket. No, don't put anything below it. You can hold it. Or you can go out of the temple hall and then honor the Mahaprasad. Hare Krishna. Now here it comes to the prasadam etiquette. When we're talking about prasadam, in this case, we are referring to the uh, eatable food stuff over here. So you already know this. Prasad means mercy. There's no difference between Prasad and Krishna. Why? Because he is absolute. Important point. You are what you eat, literally. You are what you eat. So what prasadam does is it transforms this consciousness. So we are doing so many practices. We are doing chanting, we are doing the rules and regulations, association, reading books, this, that. And so honoring prasadam transforms whatever is this I, me, myself, mind, known as mundane consciousness, to the topmost consciousness called Krishna consciousness. Food is the medium through which consciousness is transferred and transformed. Not only is consciousness transferred from the person who's cooking it to the person who is consuming it, but it also gets transformed. It has, it is a factual statement. Now you see, you can understand this is if you go to a commercial establishment, the consciousness is profit. Profit is the motive. And if you go home and your mother cooks for you, the profit is love. The motive is love. There's no profit involved. There's love. That's why home, people crave for home cooked food. Why? Same recipe, in fact, exact same ingredients also you use. There's a huge difference. So much so that restaurants use this as a marketing statement. Restaurants will market them product as just like home cooked food. In fact, there is, if you go to the Indian store, there is one pickle. Uh, what is it called? Mother's Kitchen, something like that. Mother's Kitchen pickle, right? So that's what it is transferred. The consciousness is transferred. So what you're eating is not just the taste, but you're actually tasting that love. And that's how our consciousness gets transformed. Then you also reciprocate with similarly Krishna consciousness. When we're eating, we're honoring prasadam. That's how our consciousness gets transformed. Hare Krishna. So these 3 points is how prasadam should be honored. One is prasadam should always be cooked by devotees, offered as bhoga by devotees, and served by devotees. These 3 things make a big, big impact on your devotees. You see the operative word devotee, devotee, devotee. Now, when all these 3 are in place, it becomes the most potent transference of that mercy and that consciousness. It imbibes, we imbibe that consciousness. So it's not just the nutrition and the taste is which we are consuming. The devotion is also coming along with that. Of course, there are certain situations, there are certain conditions where it may not be possible, and we will discuss that, what to do. But this should be a goal, this should be the ideal. Cooked by devotees, offered as bhoga by devotees, and served by devotees. What comes over here is there's devotion, there is love. There's devotion and there's love. So let's say if it is cooked by devotees, not served by devotees, but it is not offered by bhoga, it's no longer prasad. Or it is cooked by devotees, offered by devotees, and not served by devotees. What happens then? It is the Mahaprasad has an element. It's like eating shira. You know what is shira, right? Like that halwa. Eating shira mixed with a little bit of sand. You won't be able to tell, but yeah, once it gets in your system, hey, what's this? It's sweet, but it's also there's a little mud in it. Hare Krishna. When this happens, this trifecta of cooked, served, offered, and served by devotees, you are literally eating your way to perfection. We are literally eating. See how beautiful Krishna consciousness is. Every aspect is dovetailed to revive that relation, to awaken that dormant love we have for Krishna. That stage is a devotee, right? Vaishnava. Vaishnava is a devotee. He has prema for Krishna. Hare Krishna. So it gets us there where we're trying to go. Hare Krishna. So do's and don'ts, right? What is the prasadam etiquette, do's and don'ts, things to avoid? There are certain categories. There are these three modes of material nature. You know that, right? Rajasic, tamasic, and sattvic. So there are certain things that you avoid. Of course, there are meat and really, really, really tamasic thing. Now, onion, garlic, etc., is what you call best practices. When you take initiation, the initiation say no meat, including fish and eggs. But it doesn't say no masoor dal, no mushroom. But the acharyas, they have studied and they have categorized these food stuff, correct? So, onion, garlic, mushroom, very, very spicy, or rajasvic, very oily, fatty things, avoid that altogether. I mean, meat and other stuff is absolutely no, no. And the other thing is because you don't offer it to Krishna, and the principle is you eat only what is prasadam. All outside food, again, this is all outside food is that consciousness transference, correct? Especially non-veg restaurants, because in the same place they could be chopping vegetables, maybe with the same knife they have been chopping beef or chicken. You don't know, so that cross contamination can happen over here. So outside food, all non-veg restaurants, wasting prasadam. Now, wasting is basically you're saying, I don't care, I don't want it. Rejecting. Actually, you should not even waste, even if it's not prasadam. 8 billion population, 1 billion are in starvation mode. Dear devotees, starvation. Starvation is not Ekadashi. Ekadashi we wait for and we know next day we are going to break our Ekadashi at Trana and then we go back to our regular food. None of us actually worries where our next meal is going to come from. It is guaranteed, we are assured of it. We are assured when we get back from work, there will be prasadam waiting for us. But there are 1 billion people, people like you and me, who do not have food to eat. They're in starvation and not one meal, many days together. So just think you have the abundance, you have the good fortune, and we're just throwing it. We buy fruits, it comes and lies on the kitchen counter and it just rots. And straight from the farm to the grocery store shelf to our countertops into the garbage. What the person who's starving won't do to have that little banana or whatever is the fruit over there. So do not, and especially when it comes to prasadam, is like we're kicking it out. I don't want it. Let it be. Hare Krishna. Overeating. Of course, all of us have uh, uh, a particular taste. There are some things that we like. There are some things we may not like. But when it comes to prasadam, doesn't matter what my likes and dislikes are, I will do it. But if there is something which I like, I keep eating, 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 eating. Not good for the body, and it's also not good for my consciousness. The sense control. We're trying to control our senses by the rules and regulations, and here it just goes for a toss. The other is loose talk while eating. All faltu talk, politics and sports and, gossip, this, that, and all that. Disrespectful. You're sitting in your boss's office with your colleague. Something important is being discussed, and here you're having your side conversations. What does it mean? It's I don't care, basically. Actions speak louder than word. Hare Krishna. Sattvic food is what we should. You know what sattvic foods are. Anything which is not tamasic and rajasic will fall in the sattvic category. So this we've already covered. Now, what happens sometimes you have more than necessary. You could eat the leftovers the next day or distribute the prasadam. I remember when we started it used to be in a hall, and we didn't have an estimate how many devotees would come for the Sunday program. So we used to cook for 150. And there were days when, 150 wouldn't come, and prasadam is left over. And whoever were the core team, how much can they take? There was so much still left, what to do? So forced to, uh, there's this thing, it's not said, throw it away. It's said, oh, uska hari bol karo. Hari bol. Like, hari bol means like, oh, okay, it's done over here. And I asked Madhupati Prabhu, isn't it a sin? So he's saying, yeah, I mean, we have to be more careful over here, but go with the consciousness that even when it goes into the landfill or other thing, there are all these other animals, crows and insects and all. They will also get the opportunity to partake in the prasad and begin their journey back to Godhead. Um, so with that consciousness. But the thing is, you know, make enough. Don't be stingy. Optimal is what is required. Again, optimal eating also enough to keep the body and soul together. And honor prasadam. How we honor it is by saying the prayers. So you could learn simple prayers, Mahaprasade Govinde, Namo Brahmane Vaishnave. Before saying that, 2 minutes, say the prayer. And all faith, all traditions have this. In Islam, there is this tradition of dua. They uh, accept that this is the mercy of God. Hey Allah, tera lakh lakh shukar hai. In Christianity, they say the grace. The family, before eating, they all hold hands around the table. And, one person will say grace, acknowledging and showing gratitude. Thank you, dear Lord, for giving us this meal. So here the Vaishnav tradition is we have the prayer, Mahaprasade Govinde, Namo Brahmane Vaishnave, Salpa Punyan Vatan Rajan. You can look it up, you'd have that and go through that. See how beautiful it is, what that prayer says. Permission of senior Vaishnavas. If senior Vaishnavas are eating, if your Guru Maharaj is eating, don't sit next to him and start eating. Maintain that decorum, that sense of respect, right? Of course, if they say come and join, then you can join over there. But if there are senior Vaishnavas, the senior Vaishnava should be served first. This helps us inculcate humility. It helps us inculcate tolerance and patience. Oh, I'm so hungry. I have to eat. I have to eat. I have to eat. Of course, if you have a medical condition, you are diabetic or little children, things like that. Don't become a fanatic. But at the same time, don't become lackadaisical. Hare Krishna. Then we come to what is called the kitchen etiquette. Here's this picture of Gauranga Prabhu, um, a great, great Vaishnava, and so brilliant. He's an IIT Mumbai, and his cooking like yatras they do for 10,000. This Ayodhya temple opening, I think they were doing 50,000 people they were serving 3 full meals a day. His planning, and even Damodar Prabhu, who came last week, the way they organize everything. Now, if you look at this kitchen, look how clean the floor is. In our congregation, there is Mona Mataji, and she knows her cousin works at um, BAPS, Robbinsville Temple, the Swami Narayan, and she helped us, a tour for our Sunday school children in summer. We took them on an outing over there. You'll be, it's so fantastic. Everything from the experience from the parking lot to getting in the temple to even the inner sancta sanctum. Everything is so beautiful, very organized, spotlessly clean, including the toilets and the bathrooms. Spotless, spotless. You could literally eat off the floor if necessary. That clean it is. So there are certain, when we are cooking, there are certain uh, principles, there are certain behavior we need to adopt. Okay? Please understand, kitchen is an extension of the altar. If you come to our temple, you see the altar. It is spotless, spotless. Sadly, other areas are not the level of the altar. We think only the altar because the deities are there. No, Krishna is omnipresent. He's everywhere. In fact, the temple property and everything is Balram. He's Baldev ji. He's Baldev ji. So, keeping a mess here, there, everything. If there is a mess, like the shoe example which I showed you over there, we'll add on to it. But how much time it takes okay, I didn't make the mess, but I pick up and I put it in the shoe rack. If one person does, if two people do, if five people do, 20, 30, 40 people do, others coming and seeing that, oh, this is the culture. There is one culture, you just remove your shoes and go in. The other culture is people are sensitive. They pick up and they put it. Fine, I didn't make the mess. There is tissue lying in the courtyard. There is prasadam plate, which is the garbage can is overflown and it has fallen there. Not my job. Whose job? You're a devotee. Devotee is dasa, dasa, dasanudas. Yeah. So kitchen is an extension of the altar, dear Prabhus, Matajis. That's where the bhoga will be cooked and offered. So it should be with a lot of care and attention. So what it requires is there is consciousness with which, remember we spoke about consciousness. So consciousness, there is the attire. We have to be properly dressed. Do not speak right now in the kitchen, even in the community kitchen over there. There's a lot of gappa and it's like a social event. Jokes are being cracked and things like that. That consciousness is being transferred, and that is what we are offering to Bhagwan. So speak what is essential for the thing. Oh, Prabhuji, where are the masala kept? Oh, is this okay or do we need to do little more? Whatever is related to the preparation. And all of us have the urge to speak. This tongue talks and tastes, right? And the urge to eat. Control the tongue by listening to Katha and Kirtan. That way it is uh, bathing our consciousness with spirituality. So consciousness is very important when we are in the kitchen. Now, of course, there are other considerations like, the person who's cooking bhoga has to be Brahman initiate and so on and so forth. So yes, that is also there. But here, even if you're cooking bhoga in the house or in the community kitchen, maintain this, see what a difference it will make. Use things with care. The deity kitchen should always be separate. Everything should be separate. Their spoons to their plate, the vessels, the glasses, the pots, everything. The stirring spoons, the serving spoons, everything should be separate, right? And do not eat or drink in the kitchen. Not to do that. And the other thing is cleanliness. They say cleanliness is next to godliness. So in this cleanliness, Prabhu's Mataji's, a personal hygiene, have a bath, avoid going to the toilet. Always wear a hair cap and a mask. We do not realize that when we speak, there is microscopic spit particles. The sputum is coming out over there. And that is falling in the food. In Hindi, there's a way of saying it is jhuta, it is contaminated. So, see, that's the reason of why. Uh, so here you see how they wear these masks, so that even when they're talking about items related to the cooking of the bhoga and the hair is dead matter, and hair falls. Hair falls. If there is Mataji's, Prabhu's, wear this cap. Now you see Brahmachari, his head is shaven, but he has a little shikha behind. So to be very, very sensitive and careful. So this is when we are in the kitchen, consciousness and cleanliness, the two C's should be maintained. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So here, now it comes to Vaishnava etiquette, when to do it. So here it is, here, there, and everywhere. Vaishnava etiquette is not only when we have cooking seva. It's not only when I'm going on the altar. It's everywhere. It becomes a lifestyle, Vaishnav etiquette. Hare Krishna. So there are some real life scenarios how we can practice it everywhere. As we mentioned, it's not just for the temple. And then what to do? These are the acronyms because of the space restrictions. Real life scenario and what to do. Okay, it can get difficult in family and social situations. Not everyone is trying to be Krishna consciousness. In fact, there are some who are actively trying not to be Krishna consciousness. So how can you practice your etiquette over there? It was said that no tamasic food, no alcohol, no meat eating, and then there's, either an office party or a wedding, and there is meat and alcohol being served. What to do? What do you do? Can anyone has any experience or would like to share? Or first, let's do a time check. Yeah. Hare Krishna. What would you do when you're in such a situation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we go to party and if they have alcohol and all that, so we don't go to that section. Like,
You
uh,
don't know, but suppose if it is your, let's say, your niece's wedding,
uh,
we also have obligation to society. We also have obligation to relationships.
yeah,
So when
but
you have to attend a family wedding and there they're serving meat and alcohol.
so we are there, but we are not looking also. Means our consciousness is like, we don't want. So we have to stay there, but uh, I don't know. I can't tell. I can't
Yeah.
explain, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to engage in it. Um, and you can very politely, and I have certain dietary restrictions. Remember what it is said with whom you discuss and what you discuss. If
Hmm.
you say, oh, no, 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 this is regulated principles, people will get into argument with you. And
No, no, no. We don't do like just
so,
like sometimes garlic and onion. Sometimes we have to like, no, we don't eat. Sometimes we can say we have our fast, so that those days we don't eat like that, and then people understand.
yeah, there are things where you have
But
to
we
say,
don't criticize or something, or we are not saying, oh, this is not good. You should not do. We don't
yeah,
do.
correct. So there are certain ways of how to do it. Of course, there's a shortage of time. We won't have to jump onto another class. There's another seva we have of the Bhakti Vriksha Sangha at 8 o'clock. So of course we can discuss this more in detail. So here's what it is. Let's take the last one. Not all Vaishnavas practice Vaishnava etiquette, and we may see some people have, it may come across as rude also, or they're very forceful. What to do? What to do is simply follow instructions of Guru and Shastra. Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur Maharaj's uh, uh, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, his spiritual master, used to go in a uh, municipal toilet and he used to do his japa. Think about it. Oh, he's doing, aparadha against the holy name and all that. No, but his consciousness is people will not come and disturb me for blessings, things like that. Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur Maharaj himself would buy fish from the market and put it outside his house to dry because dirty smell, right? So that no one will come and disturb him in his sadhana. Right now, on one end, it may appear so. Never, ever, ever try to figure out or judge a Vaishnava because how a Vaishnava's mind works is, and we may think that, oh, apparently this guy is just coming over here. I have been here for 30 years, this person there only for 2 years. And we get into this judgmental mode. No, until and unless there's a relation and that adhikar, then you can go and politely request somebody or whatever it is. But if there is somebody which is there, please look at it as an opportunity for us to develop tolerance and patience. And it doesn't mean that ah bel mujhe maar. No, there is a particular process. There's this. The point here is do not get judgmental or jump to conclusion. It may appear apparently we don't know what that person's background is or who he or she is. And if it is really bothering, then it can be spoken with another senior Vaishnav and then they would be able to address it. Hare Krishna. So finally, keep this in mind. Sadachar means good behavior. It removes all the sinful reactions. Trinadapi Sunichana is the platform on which Vaishnava etiquette can be practiced. And humility, this verse is, you wake up any ISKCON devotee in the middle of the night and say, Trinadapi, oh, Sunichana, Tarorapi, Sahishnuna, Manadena, Kirtaniya, Sadahari. Automatically it will come out. But practice is more important. Humility is thoughts, words, and actions. In thoughts, you think more for the other person, less for myself. If you think more, then you will not jump the queue, in prasadam line. You will wait. That's another very important thing. Prasadam line. I was talking with Madhupati Prabhu. Actually, one new person comer came and he says, I've been standing here. And he was calculating, he's saying 2 or 3 minutes per person to pass and get out of the line with his prasadam plate. And there are people who are just cutting the line, jumping. And sadly, it is people who are old timers. A friend is there, will go and stand over there, over here. It's dealing, and people are watching. With our lips, we glorify Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. But by our actions, we are insulting Prabhupada, because people will say, like, see how Swaminarayan Mandir, oh, wonderful. What a wonderful temple, so clean, so this. And people come and, oh, ISKCON waisa hai. People just come and do it. So humility is expressed in thoughts, words, and action. And practice makes a job perfect. Small, small little things make a job perfect, but perfection is no small job. Therefore, always be attentive and sensitive. Hare Krishna. We can take one question, Prabhu, if anybody has, or Mataji, or a comment. Or we can bring this to a close.
I had a question, Prabhu.
Yes, sir.
Just on this theme. So, I was just trying to understand and relate the effect of being in Krishna consciousness, particularly for somebody who has been there for many years, who has been doing this, who comes to the temple and it does a lot of seva. One would expect that and hope that the effect of Krishna consciousness would reduce, mitigate, almost eliminate such kind of behavior that you mentioned, right?
Yes.
But that behavior still persists.
Yes.
So at a Krishna consciousness level, where is that process missing? And I might be sounding very abstract here. I just recently came across an experience, personal experience. My wife and I, we did seva during one of the events. And at the end of the seva, we were just sitting there and we were doing japa, and we noticed a very senior lady. May Krishna give her the full blessings. She was working in the inside kitchen. I'm talking about a different temple in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
So, and she started distributing. She bought a utensil out and distributed Maha prasadam.
Mhm.
And she gave the prasadam to people she knew. She saw us, but she did not give the prasad. We took it as, okay, fine. We were not supposed to get the prasad. The Lord decides, and that's how. But I started thinking, I couldn't help but think that what might have been the processes going on in this very enlightened person's mind
Mm.
that made her choose or be selective about who gets the Mahaprasad.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm
Yeah.
not coming across as too
No,
critical of
you're
it.
not.
I'm just
You're
trying
not.
to understand and become
This
better
is
myself. Yes.
this is there. It manifests itself in many ways. Even when prasadam is being served, there are devotees who are serving prasadam, and if there is a known friend, or if you're a devotee, known face or something, you get more quantity. And for others, it will be whatever is the quantity. Or how do you say, special or a preferential treatment, kind of a nepotism. And people observe this, and it hurts. It hurts. Now, of course, you have a higher consciousness, so you think, okay, maybe, Krishna decides and I didn't get it, it's fine. But what happens, Prabhu, is, as I mentioned to you, there are different states of consciousness, there are different stages of conditioning. Now, the fact is, when someone comes to Krishna consciousness, that purificatory process has started, right? And it depends on the individual of how much he wants to take or reject it, how much he or she wants to take or reject it. So, for example, if you cook lasagna, you take lasagna in a pot, and lasagna has all the cheese which is burnt and stuck to the bottom of the pot. So you soak it in water overnight or whatever, so that it gets softened up. And then, now if you're scrubbing, right, you have a scrubber, you have the soap, everything facilities is available, but you're scrubbing it very lightly. You're scrubbing it distractedly. How much time you think it will take to clear it and make it sparkling and shiny? Now the same thing, everything is same. The pot, the amount of cheese stuck on it, burnt cheese stuck on it, the soap, the scrubber, everything is the same. But there's another person who's focused on it and he's really applying his or her full strength and cutting it out. Whose pot will shine brighter sooner? So this is how we are. Krishna consciousness is that scrubber. It is the soap, the sangha, everything. You get it. All facilities is there. How much we engage with it, how much we reciprocate with it, that's what comes in over here. So we need to be, and that's why, Trinada pi sunichana. And here, actually, the etiquette is if there is prasadam, when a newcomer comes to the temple, it offered to him first. And the devotees, at least they have this kind of understanding and realization. I'm a das, a das, and a das. If somebody else gets it, his or her journey starts back to Krishna consciousness. He'll come closer. It's not important that the big Lord me comes ahead and takes that thing. So this is how we can understand it. When it personally comes to us, that fine, there may be some things where in our life, in a devotee circle and environment setting, we get things may not seem, or it could be even obnoxious behavior. But we should find it, yeah, yes, and maybe I need to build my tolerance. But again, the caveat is, don't just take any nonsense and people treat you any which way. Bhakti Tir Swami Maharaj had said, humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's not a question of having low self-esteem. That's a position of weakness, low self-esteem. Krishna consciousness, actually, you know who you are. Aham Brahmasmi, I'm parcel of Krishna. I'm not the body, I'm the soul. It is from a position of strength that we spend less time thinking of ourselves and we think more of the other person. I hope that answers the question, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
It does. Thank you so much.
By the way, what is your name? R?
My name is, oh, I'm sorry. My name is Rajiv. Rajiv
Rajiv.
Nag. I just joined this morning. So I'm really very enlightened to hear these beautiful ideas and the way you have put across. And it has really helped me. So, and I'm really feeling very, very enlightened by the listening to this. It's the first time for me. And
I hope you join.
Yes, I will. Yes.
Every Friday, and even in the mornings, we have programs from 6:30 to 7 o'clock Bhagavatam.
I see.
Wonderful. Please come to the temple also if you can.
Sure. I live in the western suburb of Philadelphia. So it's about.
Then go to the Philly temple, no, Prabhu?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So, yeah.
Vishnugata Prabhu is there.
Yes. Absolutely. Vishnugata Prabhu. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Simeshwar Prabhu, over to you. Oh, I think Simeshwar Prabhu must be in his Bhakti Vriksha. Prabhu, are you there? So we can bring it to a close, Prabhu's Mataji's. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrind ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Samaved Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Mithai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Amritananda.
Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.